All right, what's up? Yeah, looks like we're live. Everything looks good. So cool beans. I made a couple announcements on like my social medias, basically just saying like, hey, starting the 2023 event season, I'm going to be, getting into, muddying up my shoes a little bit when it comes to events. So pretty much starting April 2023 event season, I'm going to be running an event at Skirmish, and then again at Skirmish in September, and there's possibly going to be a third event in there. There's another field I'm talking to for that one. So most likely not going to be skirmish for that one. But those two events, it looks like it's going to be skirmish for both of those. The skirmish paintball fields and on Brightsville. It's like an hour and a half away if you live in the Harrisburg area. Heading north, it's kind of like halfway up to like EMR area. Pretty nice field. So I'll kind of get into the event scenarios, the rules list, and then just kind of go over some general stuff of what I'm planning right now. I will say up front that this stuff can be subject to change. Nothing is 100% set in stone at this point. Right now, more than anything, I'm just trying to give still kind of putting feelers out there just to say like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm planning. This is kind of what I'm planning to do. If there's anything you guys think you might want changed, let me know in the comments. If you think something might be a better idea or something you wish happened at another event that would make this event better, let me know down in the comments. I'm open to any of it. You guys just have to let me know, and I'll try to work that in and make it happen. So there's three events, two for sure that I want to do. So the first one is the one I plan to do in April again. The kind of primitive date out there is April 15th, 2023. It's a Saturday. This would be an all day event. So it'd be from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., 12 hours nonstop. Uh, you know, Milsim, nonstop Milsim for 12 hours. So basically, the way it will look like is on Friday, you would show up around 5 o'clock. You would get pre registration, pre chrono. You would camp out there at the field at Skirmish. In the morning, 7 a.m., chrono registration would reopen again. And then from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., you would have registration and chrono. So technically, you guys are going to be getting like 5 hours in total to do registration and chrono. It shouldn't take anywhere near that long, but obviously, we're allocating time there for that. At 9 o'clock would be a safety brief, most likely to 9:30. Pretty standard stuff there. Teams would head out from 9:30, 10 o'clock. Game would start. There would be an air horn that would go off on both sides. The air horn signifies when game starts. Air horn signifies when game ends. The game would start at 10. It would run until 10 at night. 12 hours continuous game with no breaks. The cost of the tickets right now, what I'm planning on doing is $65 a head. So it's not the most expensive game out there. It's not the cheapest game out there. It's going to be like right in the middle of that at the $65. So that's just some like basic stuff about the games. I'll get into the first scenario. So this is the one I plan to do in April. This one's going to be called Operation Silent Thunder. So I'm going to try to read through this here really quick. This event, the description is actually posted up on my Facebook page under Nomad Milsim. So if you guys want to read it yourselves, you can do that, but I'll skim through this fast. So scenario: Somalia is at war with itself, and genocide and war crimes are running rampant. The U.S. and its allies are watching closely and are expected to intervene in the conflict. However, many Americans do not wish for war, and American led Allied forces are being told to stand by and observe and report. An American aircraft performing reconnaissance has been shot down over Somalia and landed in enemy territory. Both pilots ejected from the plane and landed behind enemy lines and are presumed to be KIA. The U.S. cannot openly intervene, but they also cannot just leave their pilots to die if they are still alive. A specialized group of U.S. soldiers and NATO special operations will be inserting into Somalia to recover their downed pilots and secure intel from the aircraft. This is a snatch and grab mission that must be carried out quickly and proficiently. Gameplay. So that's the scenario. So this is a gameplay. Somalia indigenous forces are searching for pilots in the downed plane. The down plane will be intel, which will be basically in ammo cans. They are aware that U.S. NATO forces will be coming to protect their assets. Indigenous forces will be repelling the oncoming wave of U.S. NATO forces, along with searching for intel and the pilots. U.S. NATO forces will be capturing indigenous forces held areas. So basically, you're going to be capturing objectives, securing flags. Every single area that you hold and secure with your flag up is going to gain you points. Main objective is OPSEC, operational security, locating the downed pilots and bringing them back to Allied controlled territory. So the objectives now: capture designated areas across the playing field, So indigenous forces are going to have green flags, and then the NATO U.S. forces are going to have tan flags. Pretty standard. Can't mix that up. One flag for each team will be placed at the objective. If your team controls that area, make sure your team's color flag is flying. Do not hide, destroy, or take any enemy team's flags. This is some of the rule stuff. Simply place your flag in the holder and leave the other team's flag on the ground. Every hour, event field staff will be adding up points. Each location is going to be worth 1,000, 2,000 points. That's a pretty standard thing that goes on. So then the next thing is find the down pilots. So there's going to be two pilots that are going to be at random places on the field. Most likely they're going to be towards the middle. That way you guys actually have to fight to get to them and take that area over. Each pilot is going to be considered like wounded. You're going to have to medic them. In order to medic them, you have to put a tourniquet on them. And then there's going to be, once you get there, there's going to be a ref in that immediate area. You're going to let them know they're going to see you capture it. You have to hold that spot for 5 minutes. Once you hold the spot for 5 minutes, you got to pick the dummy up. These dummies are 6 feet. They're like actual dummies. They're like 100 pounds. So they're not, the lightest thing ever. You guys are going to have to pick it up and carry it back to your spawn. If you get back to your spawn, it's going to be worth points. Right now, I'm looking at doing like 5,000 points for a dummy. Again, there's two dummies out there. You guys got to find them, and this is on top of doing the objectives. So on top of that one for this game, there's going to be intel. Intel is going to be in ammo cans. There's going to be 5, 6 ammo cans spread out across the field. Each ammo can is going to be worth about 500 points. And then inside the ammo cans is going to be like patches, pistols, brand new pistols, and just other things that are going to be given away. So if you find the ammo can, you got to bring it back to your spawn. It will be locked. I'll unlock it, or another event staff personnel will unlock it, and then you get the prize that's inside. Again, it could be patches, it could be a pistol, it could be BBs, it could be a T-shirt, it could be whatever, but that's there that you guys could possibly get. So basically, for the teams for this, it's a force on force. So you're either the Somali or indigenous forces. That's going to be green, woodland, AOR2, tiger stripe, civilian street gear, black camo. It's a 250 player cap per each side. So 500 players in total, 250 per each team, 500 total players. NATO US is going to be tan, coyote brown, multicam, 3-color desert, AOR1. Again, 250 player cap. So basically, I'm going to start kind of just scrolling down through the rules here. Again, this will be posted. It'll be on the website. You guys can read it. You're going to have to sign it. There will be a waiver. There's going to be insurance and all that stuff. You guys are going to have to go through and sign. That's going to be normal, like any other event you guys go to. You'll have to provide insurance, so you guys will have a waiver to sign. The minimum age is going to be 13 or older to play. And again, that's just for insurance. But I'm going to run down through some of the rules. Again, I already went over the event timeline of when you guys are going to come, what you guys are going to be doing. The cost of $65 a person. So basically just getting into the rules. Obviously, safety is the number one priority, the number one rule, with fun being number two. You guys have to have on full seal eye protection. So no shot glasses, no that whatever those things are, the little bug eye things. You guys know what I'm talking about that don't work. None of that's allowed. It has to be full seal. Again, that's 100% because of insurance. So if you do not have on full seal, you can't go on the field. There will be no exceptions there. Safety words, blind man, ceasefire, either one will be acceptable. Basically, if something really bad happens, and I don't mean you trip and fall and your gun breaks, I mean like someone breaks their leg, someone's eye pro comes off, that would be something you would call the ceasefire for. Pretty standard stuff here. Miniature equipment, airsoft replica, face protection, eye protection, BBs. It's pretty standard stuff. Again, this will all be listed. I'm just running through it really, really fast so then everybody knows what it is. Obviously, no verbal abuse, no physical contact, no name calling, no real firearms, no drugs, no alcohol, no blind fire, and event field staff have the final word. Again, pretty standard stuff. So now getting into the Joule stuff, which is what a lot of people kind of care about. So spring electric AEG replicas, you're going to be allowed 1.55 joules. You're going to be chroned with 0.32 BBs. HPA gas CO2 replicas, again, 1.55 joules with 0.32 bio BBs. For these, both replicas, you're not allowed to exceed 20 rounds a second, and anything within 10 feet is going to be semi-auto. If you're within 10 feet, try to use bang bang, but you don't have to take a bang bang kill. So, I mean, we all know how that goes, but bang bangs don't have to be done. But if you're in 10 feet, you got to use semi-auto. Anything above that, you can use full auto. Support weapons, AG or HPA. I'm for the HPA 20 rounds a second. For the AEGs, I'm going to go up to 30 rounds a second. There'll be a 50-foot med for that on full auto, just because of that higher rounds per second. Again, you're going to be measured at 1.55 joules. with .32s. Sniper, DMR, airsoft replicas. DMR, you're going to be at 1.88 joules. With measured with .32 bio BBs, semi-auto only, mid caps only. So no high caps are going to be allowed for DMR, and you're also going to have a 50-foot med. So semi only the whole entire time, mid caps only, and you're allowed 1.88 joules. You're going to chrono with .32s. Sniper rifles is going to be 2.32 joules. Again, you're going to be shooting .32s for the chrono, but you're up there to 2.32 joules. Sniper rifles are only going to be Springer or bolt action, so no semi-auto. If you're semi-auto, it's going to be classified as a DMR. If you're DMR, it's the 1.88 joules. Snipers are at 100-foot med, so the minimum engagement is 100 feet. And I'm also putting a rule in place for DMR and sniper that you have to have a secondary replica. Now, that's going to be a pistol or it could be an AEG, whatever. I don't care what you use. But the reason I want to do this is because I've been in too many events and even open plays where people are playing DMR or sniper and someone walks up on them, they're not expecting it, and they pop around off because of reaction or whatever. They don't have another something to use, and people get shot super close. So it's going to be mandatory. You have a secondary replica. Again, it can be a pistol, it can be whatever, but you have to have something other than your DMR or your sniper rifle when you go out onto the field. And then there's no limits on the magazines. I don't care. You can use box mags, high cap mags, mid cap mags, low caps. I don't care. The only people that matter is the DMRs have to use a mid cap. Let's see here. For grenades, the Enola Gay, Thunderbeat grenades, Tornado grenades, launchable tag-in grenades are going to be allowed. Smoke, the only smoke that's going to be allowed is going to be battle game smoke. So Enola Gay is off limits. There will be no Enola Gay smoke. It is simply just the battle game smoke. Smoke alarm going off. House isn't on fire, promise. Oh, that's so annoying. Come on. Bang bang rule. So there's no bang bang rule. Hits. So basically, if anything hits your person, hits a bag you have on, your hit. Ricochets don't count. Gun hits don't count. Bleed out rules. So basically, it's going to be a 5-minute bleed out. If you wait 5 minutes, you got to go back to your spawn. Once you start walking, unless you're just moving out of the way of fire, I'm going to limit that to probably 5 or 10 feet. If you get outside of 5 or 10 feet, then you're going to have to go back to your respawn. So the way I'm doing this is everybody's a medic. Everybody's going to be a medic. There's no assigned medics. Everybody's going to be a medic. So having said that, you have to provide. I'm not going to provide it. You have to provide 2 tourniquets. Every person is going to have 3 lives. So when you get hit the first time, you put on your first tourniquet. The second time, put on your second tourniquet. You hit a third time, then you got to go back to your respawn, take your 2 tourniquets off, and then you're back in. So you got 3 lives. Every single time you go out, everyone's a medic, but you had to provide your own tourniquets. And you can only be wearing 2 tourniquets at a time. I don't care where you put them. I prefer on one of your arms. I don't care which arm you put them on, but just make it so it's visible. So that would pretty much take care of that. Radios, you're allowed to use radios. There's going to be command team radios. So having said that, there is going to be a command for each team. So there's going to be a CO. I plan to split this down into 3 or 4 platoons. On top of that, you'll have a platoon leader. This is going to keep some organization and structure within the teams, which will help out a little bit. But again, I'm not planning on doing this in such a way to make it so that this is like full bore Milsim, like Milsim West or something. I still want to keep it light and fun and just light, I guess, is the words I'm looking for. But there will be some structure there to it. If you do want to be a CEO, platoon leader, I kind of have some people and teams in mind for this. But if it's something you really want to do, just let me know in the comments, or if you are following me on Discord or whatever, just let me know there. The respawn dead zone. So I hate going to events and then you get spawn traps. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to mark out with red tape where the spawns are. So if you're in the spawn, you can't die. So if you're within the taped off red area, you can't die. So if you're getting shot at, you can shoot other people and they'll die if you get hit, but you can't die within your spawn. That's just to completely eliminate, hopefully eliminate spawn camping, because I hate that. It sucks and it makes it not fun. So the play area is going to be designated. So at skirmish, on one side is going to be red tape. That's going to be closest to the pavilion where the check-in registration chrono is going to be happening, and parking. So it's like parking. the pavilion, check in registration here, and then you go to the field. So that line's going to have red tape. It's going to come up and around, go back into the woods. Once you get into the woods, there's a stream back there, and you kind of wrap around. The stream comes up this way. You can't see my arms, but it kind of comes up this way. That was a terrible description. There'll be a map. There's going to be a map. Okay, that was terrible, but there's going to be a map out there. But it's like 100 acres that we have to play on, which is plenty of space. It'll be pretty easily. You'll be able to figure it out where it all lies. But again, I will create a map so everybody knows what they're doing. So again, that kind of goes over all the rules. I can definitely post these rules somewhere, but I just want to go to that scenario. So that's the first game. That's the one I plan to run in April. So the one I plan to run in September is going to be called Operation Iron Shield. So I'll run through this scenario quickly because we're already at 15 minutes here in this video, and I'm sure people aren't going to watch this for 15 minutes. So I'm probably just talking for no reason, but I'll run through this really fast. So basically, scenario: communist forces have spread their grip hold of NATO-controlled Europe, and spreading a lust for war with unyielding violence, NATO troops have withdrawn from major cities due to heavy losses and civilian casualties. NATO has put out the call for help and any allied forces to reinforce their lines. The U.S. has deployed the 75th Ranger Regiment and the 101st Airborne Division to assist their allies. With U.S. military boots hitting the ground, NATO forces are rallying and will be re-engaging the enemy to push back communist forces and retake control of previously NATO-controlled areas. However, communist forces have a trick up their sleeve to deal with the overconfident American NATO forces. This trick is a nuclear bomb that will be detonated if it is not disarmed by Allied forces. CIA intelligence officers have gained this valuable intel and have convinced the president to deploy U.S. Special Forces to go behind enemy lines and secure the nuclear bomb. This task does not want to be taken lightly, and heavy casualties are expected on both sides. The fate of Europe is literally in your hands. Will you side with the commander, or Jesus? Will you side with the communists, or will you side to stop the atrocities before they can be committed? Your decision is yours to make. So basically, the gameplay: communist forces are going to start with a bomb. They're going to have the bomb instantly starting out. They have to then plant the bomb. Now they're going to know where this bomb is going to be planted. The NATO forces are going to have absolutely no idea where the bomb is going to be planted. Again, communist forces will know. You will get that information from your leadership. So once you plant the bomb, you set it. There's going to be an actual timer on there to set it. You guys are going to set it. You have to defend it. The NATO forces have to then find that said bomb. So there's going to be, flags, positions you guys have to capture, put your flag out. That'll gain you points. There's going to be this bomb, which is the main thing. So everyone's going to basically be searching for this bomb. Again, this is a 100-acre field, so this isn't going to be found in 2 seconds. You guys have to find it, fight over it. Once you find it, you have to call NATO forces, have to call for their special forces. So there's only going to be 50 people out of the 250 people on your team that are going to be special forces. So if you want to be special forces and be hunting down this bomb, you need to get one of those 50 tickets. That's going to be for special forces. And the U.S. NATO special forces, let me just check here so I don't screw myself, will be in black camo or street gear. Those are the only 2 authorized colors for the NATO special forces is black camo and street gear. So you guys will be the ones going out trying to find the bomb. So whoever finds it, whether it's not special forces or is special forces, once you find it, you have to obviously eliminate all the enemy in the area, defuse it, and then take it back to your spawn. Once you get it back to your spawn, you get the points. The bomb's worth 10,000 points. If you guys can't get the bomb within the course of the day, then the communists blew the bomb up, they're going to get 10,000 points. And then on top of that, there's also going to be, again, the ammo cans that are going to be spread out. Those ammo cans are going to have patches. It could have a pistol in it. It could have BBs. It could have a shirt. It could have several different things in there. So once you find it, it'll be locked. Take it back to your spawn. You're going to find a staff member, and then they're going to unlock it for you, and then you're going to get whatever's inside that box. And then again, like I said, capturing the objectives. There'll be 5 objectives for every single one of these games at skirmish. So both these games are going to have 5 objectives. You're going to have your tan flag or your green flag. Whichever team holds that position, you're going to have your flag up. The other teams you're going to drop right there. If your flag's up, whenever we go around to collect points, you're going to get 1,000 points for each objective. Okay, so the time frame will actually be identical. So it's going to be the Friday night show for pre-raid chrono. Saturday, it's going to the same thing. It's going to start at 10 a.m. It's going to run at 10 p.m. So there'll be a nighttime game there as well. So the time frame will be the same. The cost will be exactly the same at $65. And then the rules list is basically identical. There is no real changes there at all. So that'll be the second event. Again, this event, Operation Iron Shield, is what I plan to do in September. So then the third event, which is the one that I'm trying to lock down this other field. I just haven't heard back from the owner yet. Is going to be Operation Final Order. So this game is basically a more basic. The other games, there's pilots you got to find, or there's a bomb you got to defuse. This game is going to be more like just a straight up domination. So basically, we're like getting 20 minutes in here, so I'm trying to read these fast. But basically, this game is nuclear fallout has happened. There's like one final real stronghold of civilization that's like a standard civilization that we all know, like running water, housing, and then everybody else who's alive is basically just fending for themselves, killing each other, trying to get food. These people, this last civilization, aka the final order, is the last people with like food and farming and infrastructure and everything else. So basically, they're trying to defend themselves and push back the people that are trying to take it over. So basically, you're on this global alliance force, which would be like a NATO US force color pattern, or you're going to be on the, let me just make sure extremist forces, which is going to be the green camo patterns, that the typical green camo patterns. So this one's going to be more basic. I'm not sure how I'm going to play the game out for this one, just with it being more basic and not as many objectives. I'm not sure if this is going to be a 12-hour milsim or if this is going to be an 8-hour milsim. Again, this is the one that's kind of on the back burner that I haven't really secured an area for it yet, but it's a possibility that this game could also be happening in 2023 game time frame. So I ran through a whole bunch of stuff there, a lot of different things, a lot of information just got thrown at you in 21 minutes. Again, if you guys have any questions, comment down below. If there's anything you think that might be cool to see within the game within reason. Obviously I have to abide by field rules, insurance, and everything else. So I mean, I can't just do whatever I want. But let me know, and I'll try to make it happen to the absolute best of my abilities. So thanks you guys for watching. Thank you for supporting me, and supporting me hopefully in the future here with this new endeavor that I'm on here to start running events. So I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much, and have a good one.